What's going on, everyone? Thank you for being patient and waiting for me to release this course. Today, we're gonna get right into it. I'm gonna show you exactly how to set up a custom GPT using custom actions such as collecting email addresses, etc. So you know exactly how you set up or you signed up for my GPT course. I'm gonna show you exactly how I set that up, where you input your email address, and then from your email address, it's sent over to my database. To make things simple this time, what we're going to do is I'm just going to show you how to set this up with, a simple webhook with an API action, as well as setting. You can use anything from any email provider you use to any database you use. But for today's example, I'm just going to show you something basic along the lines of using an Excel spreadsheet to collect these emails. So right here, what we have here, let me move my screen down, but just a second. So what we got going on here is, this is where you can create your custom GPTs. Let me back out of this so I can just show you myself over here. This is your ChatGPT account. If you don't have ChatGPT Plus, you are not going to be able to do this. So what we're going to do today is we're just going to simply click create. And then here we have name, description, instructions, which are very important, as well as we have our conversation starters. We can put some of those in there, knowledge bases, as well as actions, where we can create custom actions that are outside of a GPT. So today, like I said, what we're going to do is we're going to set up a custom GPT that'll collect emails, and it'll send those emails directly to wherever you have linked to it. But for today, we're just going to set it up with a Excel sheet. So here's a really cool no-code website that you can use. I will leave a link at the bottom of this video that you can use. It's completely free. If you do sign up with my link, I do get kind of a small affiliate commission, but if you don't, it's okay. What we're going to use is Make, and this is like a low code, no code kind of builder. And we're just going to kind of get right into this. I'm going to show you how simple this really is. So now that I have that loading up, for this name your GPT, we're just going to do something like test email submit or something like that, because we're not going to really go into full blown setting this up. So, okay, if we go to the description, let's just put in a random description. We can just put this GPT is used to collect email submits for a newsletter or something like that. This description is what's going to show up right here. So whatever you're going to put there is going to be fine. Just kind of show off your GPT what it does from the beginning. So what we're going to do here is we need instructions and we need a custom action. So with a custom action, we're going to have to write some schema. So with the schema, what I usually like to do is I like to create the custom action first before I go ahead and do the instructions, because the instructions kind of have to coexist with the action. So what we're going to do here, because we already have in mind that we're going to create a GPT that is able to send emails over to a third-party source and outside of ChatGPT. So we're going to create a new action. What we have here is authentication, which you won't even need for this. And then we have our schema. And then if you want to make it public, you have to write out a privacy policy. What I would suggest doing is just going to like a Google Sites and just making a small privacy policy on there, which is very simple. And then it's free, and you can just put your privacy policy right here when you get this going. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a GPT that I created that will actually help you do this. It'll actually write all the schema for you. Let me just minimize this over here, get this up. Okay, so I'm going to bring myself over here for a second. So right here, what I have is a GPT I created. It's called GPT Creator by Chris Porter. This is not available for the public, but I do have a link that you can use this whenever you're done checking out this training. So what this GPT does is it actually helps you create custom schemas, and it also writes custom instructions for your GPT. I made it super simple so anyone can use this and kind of just plug in what they want to put into this. So let's just start out. Our main goal here is to send a webhook, send information to a webhook so that the webhook can be received on the make end. So let's just go into make first, and I'm going to show you how we can just set up a new scenario. When you get into your dashboard, you will see something that looks like this. You're going to click create a new scenario, and then it's as easy as this. So you would just type in webhook. And these are a bunch of different apps that are on Make. They're like a bunch of different APIs. So we're going to click webhook. And we are going to click custom webhook. Triggers when webhook receives data. Okay. So we're going to add a hook. And we can name this whatever we want. We're just going to say email submit, maybe, right? And then we're going to do, we don't have to do the data structure yet because it should do it itself. And we're going to click save, and then we're going to copy address to clipboard. So what you're looking for is this link right here. You can just copy it right to your clipboard. So now we're going to come back over to our ChatGPT. Let me put this side screen again so that I can show you this one. So now we have our ChatGPT, custom GPT that we're getting ready to create. Let me move over here. I don't really need this yet, so just right here for a second. Okay, so we're just going to talk to this one for now. So the GPT creator by Chris Porter, what we're going to tell it is what we're looking for. So we are looking for a custom schema to send a webhook to make.com. Okay. And then you can start out like that if you want, or you can just say, here is my webhook URL. And then paste in that URL that you just created on Make right over here. This one. Just send that. And I'll just full screen this for now so you can just kind of see this. Come over here. It says, since you're looking to send a webhook to Make and have provided your webhook URL, let's start creating the schema based on your requirements. So just asking, could you please provide more details about the kind of data you're intending to send through this webhook? So we are going to send emails to the webhook. And then we're also going to say this is for a newsletter sign up. And this is just an example. You can do whatever you want. Just going to search your knowledge base. I've already had this set up for you to make it a lot easier. So it's going to give us this custom schema. It's writing out schema that we're going to actually put directly into the other GPT. So let me put this over this way again. Oop. Get this back. Go here. Let's go over here. Okay, so it's writing this long schema. In this schema, what it did is it put in your webhook URL, made a description of what it's going to do, you know. So now, all we're going to do is we're going to come over here and click copy code. Come back over to your custom GPT. So here is the GPT you've been working on. We're going to come down here to create new action. And then we're just going to paste that schema in. So you can Control V or just click paste. And what you should see happen is you should see an email subscription or something that says something like that pop up at the bottom if it's correct. Okay. So now, since we have the schema set, this is kind of like the backbone of the GPT. What we're going to do is we're going to come back here. And now we're going to do the instructions. So let's put this aside again. Usually I do this on 2 monitors, so I'm just trying to show you on 1 monitor just to make it kind of easier. Okay. So now you're going to come back in here and you're just going to talk to the GPT creator by Chris Porter again. And you're going to say, okay, great. Something simple, right? And then you can just say something like, I need the custom instructions for my GPT. And the instructions need to go hand in hand with the custom schema, just to make it super easy. Okay, I want it to start with greeting the user and telling them a bit about my course or newsletter. Let's just say this is all example. So whenever you do this, you know exactly what you want to put in here. I want to start with greeting the users and telling them a bit about my course or newsletter, then ask for them to sign up for my newsletter. Letter by providing their email address that is then sent to the Make webhook. That should be pretty good right there, just kind of get you going. So what I said is I need the custom instructions for the GPT, and the instructions need to go hand in hand with the custom schema. I want to start with greeting the users and telling them a bit about my course or newsletter, then ask for them to sign up for my newsletter by providing their email address, and then that is sent to the Make webhook. Super, super easy. So what it's doing here is it's writing out your custom instructions, and what they start with is initial interaction with the users, okay? So what it's going to do, it's going to welcome the users. It does the API request handling with the Make webhook URL, okay? It does response processing, user guidance support, okay? It just does all this stuff for you. You really don't have to do it, and you can tailor it towards anything you want. So let's copy that. We're gonna come back over here and move this out of the way. It's as easy as doing this. Watch this. So you take the instructions, paste these instructions in, and then what we have from here is pretty much almost done. So obviously you would change like the name. You change the name to like Tech Newsletter or something like that, and then you could have like sign up for the best tech newsletter in the world. Okay, something super simple. I mean, it can be whatever you want. So okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna test this GPT out, because what we have now is the instructions, the description, the name. We have our custom action going through Make. You can check that out again here. See the available actions that it's showing is email subscription. So our first step is we're going to want to get this email set up, and then we'll go back into Make, and I'll show you exactly how to send it over to like a CSV file or something like that. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to talk to it and say, hey, just try it out, make sure it's working. Oops. Then pretty much it says, and you can train this any way you want to, like change this intro, whatever, but it's coming at me and saying, welcome, I'm excited to share more about my exclusive courses and the latest insights through our newsletter. Our content is designed to empower and inform you on the latest trends, insights, and offerings in technology and innovation. Would you like to stay updated with the latest trends, insights, and offerings? Sign up for our newsletter. Please provide your email address to subscribe. And then usually the user would be like, yes. I'll just say, I'll just use my business email. There's the email. So let's see if this actually sends it, okay? We're gonna allow the action. And see, we talked to the hook. So what it did was it talked to the webhook. It says, you're all set. Thank you for subscribing to our newsletter. Looking forward to the great insights and updates directly to your inbox. So if we come on over to Make, this looks like it worked. If it did not work, then you would get an error. So if we come back to Make, move down here, we can see that it successfully determined, our data structure. So if we click here, click OK, you can actually check the logs, but you're not going to do that yet. Okay, so for the next step, what we're going to want to do, since that's actually working and it showed that it sent the data structure, what we're going to do is we're going to add another module. What we're going to add is we're going to add a Google Sheet. This is how simple this is. And Make, I mean, if you don't know coding, this is like the best way to get started. And it'll kind of teach you, the basis of learning some kind of coding. And what we're going to do is we are going to add a row. Now what this is your Google Sheets. It's going to have you select a path. You're just going to do your method as select by path, okay? And then it's going to choose your drive. It could be my drive shared with me, Google shared drive. But we're just going to do my drive now. And it's going to look for your spreadsheet ID. So if you do not already have a spreadsheet, it can be a blank spreadsheet. It just has to have one column that says email. That is it. When you click here, you know what I'm going to show you, I'm going to just make a whole new spreadsheet just for this, because we don't want to use ones that we've already used. So let's go in here. So I ran to the office today, so the computer's running a little slow. Okay, so what we're going to do is create a blank spreadsheet. Super simple. We're just going to name this column under A. We can name it email. That is it. If you want to collect more information, you can, but just for a simple process, I'm just going to show you this. So, and we're going to name it email test, right? Because I'm not going to use this. email test, we should be good to go. We don't even have to save it. When we click on here, when we come back into make, we should be able to click here and it should show up with email test. You see how I did that? I just typed that in right here. Email test, sheet name, it's just going to be sheet 1, or if you named it a different sheet, table contains headers, yes, okay, that's what we just put in. See, it says email right here, we just put that in, that's considered a header. So table contains headers, yes, and then the values, you can see it recognized the header. And then what we're going to do is we're going to map information from this webhook. So it's this simple in Make. All we do is click right here, and then we click email, and see how this is like moving in and out? It's going to map that email out of that response, okay? So we just click that. Let me scroll down, make sure that's all we need. Yeah, this would be all your other columns and rows and stuff like that. But so we map the email to our email row, right? And I'm just gonna click OK, move myself over. So this is set, if you see this like lightning bolt looking thing, it's actually an instant dynamic action. This is a scenario run. So what it's gonna do is it's gonna run immediately, okay? And so whenever someone submits their email into your GPT, this webhook is always gonna be listening. And what it's gonna do is it's gonna send that email directly over to your Google Sheet. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn this on. Let's save this. We'll go ahead and turn this on, okay? It should be on waiting and listening, okay? So, sorry for all the pages. Let me get you back over. Okay, so now that we have this set, and what I did down here, I'm sorry, I kind of went a little quick, but all I did was turn on the scheduling to on, and the scheduling on make for these modules is going to be immediately as data arrives. So whenever data is sent through the GPT, it'll come to this webhook, which will in turn send that email to a Google Sheet, which is super simple. I would suggest using like a Get Response, Mail Hub, or anything like that, where you can use like MailChimp as well to be able to collect these emails, and then you can send out a whole branded domain and everything out of there with custom emails, everything like that kind of run all by itself. But for this simple course, I'm just going to show you this to start out with. So we have this on, it's sitting here waiting, it's on, we have it saved, okay? So we're going to come back over to here. You can see there's no emails in here yet, okay? Let's go back over to our custom GPT that we are creating, and we are all done with the GPT creator by Chris Porter. We can kind of just X out of that for now. I don't think I will need that again. Okay, so this is all good to go. To show you something that, this wouldn't happen like this, but if someone's using it, I'm just gonna show you if it's working or not. So let's do another email. Use this email test at AOL.com. Okay. I'm gonna send that through. It's gonna ask us to allow. Talk to the hook. You're all set. Thank you for subscribing to our newsletter with test at AOL.com. If this worked correctly, okay, we should be able to come back over here to the Google Sheets, and now you have a test at AOL.com. Someone signed up just like how you signed up for my GPT course. It's that simple. Okay, let's do another one like test 101 at AOL.com. Okay, it's actually making me confirm that I'm going to sign up again. There you go. Now if we come back up here to our email list again, you should see. So it's really that simple. You can save this. Make is free. You can use Make for free up to 1,000 operations a month. So if you have over 1,000 emails coming through, this would be considered an operation when it sends it over as one. So if you're using more than that, then they have like $10 plans that you can use, but you probably don't need it right away. So that's about it. So what we would do here from having this GPT set up, obviously you'd want to make your logo and everything like that. You want to come back in here to create new action, where the actions tab is. Make sure you fill out your privacy policy, because if you do not have a privacy policy and you go to save it, I'll just show you. If you click everyone, public actions require valid privacy policy URLs. Click here to update. So that's all you would do. For right now, I'm just going to do publish to only me. And that's it. Now you have a GPT that can collect emails using an API action using a webhook sending directly to Make. That is probably the easiest way you'll be able to achieve this right from the beginning. You can build out your own custom code and custom softwares and everything like that. But for anyone that's a beginner, I would highly suggest trying out Make, because they'll just make your life a little easier instead of having to run down all these APIs and everything like that. So I hope everyone has enjoyed this course. I hope I didn't go too fast for anyone. So I'm going to leave a link for Make, as well as I'm going to leave a link for that custom GPT that will help you create all of these that you can actually use. So with that custom GPT, the GPT creator by Chris Porter, that is what I use to be able to create all these GPTs with all the different APIs, all the actions, like the AI text to speech I have, as well as like some sports betting ones and business search information and everything like that. So yeah, that is pretty much the bare bones. I will be releasing another course here soon that kind of goes into more detailed, API calls using outside sources with APIs. Like if you wanted to run your own betting systems, or I wouldn't say betting systems, but if you wanted to run something like, anything with looking up outside action with like business information, or, the sky's the limit when you use APIs, because a lot of things out there have APIs for pretty much everything. So, I hope you enjoyed this. Sorry to keep rambling on. Everyone keep on making AI, and let me know what you think about my course. Make sure you check out the links below. They'll be somewhere on the webpage. So thanks again. Thanks for signing up for this. I hope everyone enjoys.